Let me say a bit more about how innovation plays into this goal of making the financial system fairer. We should welcome financial innovation as a positive force that can increase access and lower costs for individuals and for businesses.
So that's Michael Barr with positive innovation as a positive force within the crypto space. And I'm bringing that video up because it's going to tie into kind of what we're talking about in this video today, because a lot of it's going to be in regards of our current chairman of the SEC and their tactics to try to, expand their reach and overregulate and dominate this crypto space, and what it's doing to the innovation and growth and the investors within the space in general, which is affecting the entire industry. So we're going to cover a bunch of different articles here. We're going to start with this one right here from XRP Crypto Wolf. It says the SEC chair says crypto industry has clear guidance, reiterates most digital assets look like securities to the SEC. So coming over here to the block here, it says the SEC chair to direct aim at the crypto industry, frequent complaint about the SEC under his purview, the lack thereof clear guidance. It says, quote, without prejudging any one token, most crypto tokens are investment contracts under the Howey test, Gensler said, referring to the long-standing legal test for whether an asset fits the definition of security under U.S. law. Quote, some in the crypto industry have called for clear guidance, Gensler said. Throughout the past 5 years, the SEC has spoken with a pretty clear voice. So, which is contradictory to he contradicts himself, because when he was given his speeches at MIT, he completely had a total different tune. He was talking about things aren't clear, and he was saying certain digital assets, for Ethereum, for instance, he was calling, that one security, and he had his take on other digital assets as well. But it's like, now that he's the current chairman, he can't speak on, anything outside of Bitcoin. He can't speak on, any one particular digital asset, and he completely changed his tune on, what a security is and what it isn't in regards to the Howey test, which is crazy. The article continues, says Gensler did allow that, quote, some tokens may not meet the definition of the securities, what I call non-security tokens that are small in number but may be significant in value. So far, U.S. regulators have only determined Bitcoin and Ether to be clear non-securities among cryptocurrencies. And keep in mind, he still hasn't come out and verbally said that. And he's been asked multiple times, and he just kind of shoots down the interviewer in regards of, we can't, I'm the SEC chair, I can't speak on one particular digital asset. Moving on to this one right here. This is from Cointelegraph. It says SEC chair suggests openness to crypto bills that don't inadvertently undermine securities laws. I look forward to working with crypto projects and intermediaries looking to come into compliance with the laws. It says in written remarks from the Thursday program hosted by the Practicing Law Institute, Gensler encouraged intermediaries in the crypto space as well as crypto security token projects and potentially stablecoins to register with the SEC, reiterating his come in and talk with us approach. And we all know what that means. I mean, you think about it. We have the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, right? You even have the Library versus SEC lawsuit. These are legit companies with real utility, real use case, not scamming. And, and Ripple, for instance, going in weekly or whatever, monthly, going in to work with the SEC to make sure that they're doing things, by the book, and they're not breaking any laws when it comes to investor protections and whatnot. They've been doing that for years, but they still get, drop the hammer on Ripple and XRP and the XRP community. But this whole come in and talk to us approach thing, that's just them literally gathering information so they can come after him. And there's a quote. Actually, I'm going to cover it now. Where's it at? Right here. There's this tweet from Caitlin Long that was interesting. It says, in crypto, only the honest businesses need to fear the SEC. The incentives are bad. So, I mean, that's just the reality that we live in. It's just like these companies that are trying to do things the right way, these are the ones that get attacked. We're not talking about the Do Kwons and the Terra Lunas and all the other shady actors, the Celsiuses, or whatever the case is. We're talking about legit, dev teams, legit companies, legit projects that are being affected, that are trying to do the right thing. It's crazy. She says, come in and talk to us approach. According to the SEC chair, the vast majority, let me zoom in. The vast majority of the roughly 10,000 tokens on the cryptocurrency market were securities subject to the agency's regulatory purview and likely needed legislation to ensure investor protection. And here goes that term, investor protection. There's over 72,000 investors that need protection, but they haven't been protected by the SEC. They've been hurt by Chairman Gensler and our former Chairman Clayton and the like, and the rest of the group that's involved with all this. They've only hurt and hindered the investors within the space, which is crazy. But they claim, we're here to protect investors. It's like, no, we don't need your protection. You're clearly not out for us. You're not here to protect us. You're here to protect yourself, line your own pockets, and protect the incumbents and the people that you're in their pockets, or whatever the case is. It's clear not investor protection, which is sickening for them to sit there and say over and over and over again. And then he says, quote, "I look forward to working with crypto projects and intermediaries looking to come into compliance with the laws." I mean, I just can't stand hearing him talk. I can't stand hearing, him being quoted, seeing his face and that smile. Let me see if I gotta, just that smile that he gives. Yeah, it just makes me sick. Jeremy Hogan puts up this great tweet as well. So we're going to read this right here. It says, crypto tokens. Of the nearly 10,000 tokens in the crypto market, I believe the vast majority are securities. So this is Chairman Gensler speaking. Offers and sales of these thousands of crypto security tokens are covered under the securities law. Some tokens may not meet the definition of a security, what I call non-security tokens. These likely represent only a small number of tokens, even though they may represent a significant portion of the crypto market's aggregate value. So clearly he's talking about, the likes of Bitcoin and whatever, but, there's no specifics here. Why do I think a majority of crypto tokens are securities? As Justice Thurgood Marshall put it in describing the scope of the securities laws, Congress painted the definition of a security, quote, with a broad brush. He further stated Congress' purpose in enacting the securities laws was to regulate investments in whatever form they are made and by whatever name they are called. In general, the investing public is buying or selling crypto securities tokens because they are expecting profits derived from the efforts of others in a common enterprise. So coming up here, Jeremy Hogan says, quote, almost all restaurants are in violation of health code. How do I know? Because the government gave U.S. Broad powers to enforce the health code. Who says Chair Gensler, if he was head of the local health department. I mean, that's how silly this is. It's absolutely crazy. XRP Crypto Wolf says, deep down, Gary Gensler knows XRP is not security, but he doesn't care about us. I mean, I agree. I 100% agree, especially based on everything that we've seen. Johnny Deaton responds to Jeremy Hogan here, says, Gensler gets more assertive each talk. Now, most are securities. Next week or a month, the vast majority of these are securities. Then later, only a couple tokens are not securities. Oh, man, it's crazy. And this is interesting right here, too. It says, Jeremy Hogan says, we are the lobsters in the pot, and he's turning up the heat slowly. What's crazy is Johnny Deaton, he was on record saying this, and this was, I want to say, a year and a half ago. He's saying, toward the end of this year, a major, the SEC and Gary Gensler are going to go after a major exchange. They're going to sue a major exchange. And even when the lawsuit dropped, I remember there was a lot of, haters out there, as we call them haters, but just people that, don't like Ripple, don't like XRP or whatever. And when the lawsuit dropped, they were kind of like, ha ha, that's you, we're safe, you're a poop corn or whatever. But then, you had the likes of Jeremy Hogan and Johnny Deaton coming out saying, hey, this verbiage they're using and the action they're taking, this doesn't make your project or platform safe. With this, they can come after everybody, and especially if they win this lawsuit against Ripple, all it does is give them more strength and more, reach to literally hone in and rein in this entire industry and control it. So we're seeing that take place. I mean, Chairman Gensler and the SEC are coming after everything. They're going after platforms, lending platforms, exchanges, other blockchain companies. You got Dragon Chain, obviously Ripple XRP. You have Library and so on. They're coming after everybody, and it's been quite evident. He hasn't been wrong about that. It's crazy. And obviously we know Coinbase has been under the microscope as well, and other exchanges and platforms as well. So I showed you this talking about in crypto, only the honest businesses need to fear the SEC. And that's just been the reality. Stuart Alderati has something great here, too. He says, another famous quote from Joseph Kennedy, quote, I wanted power. I thought money would give me power. And so I made money, only to discover that that it was politics, not money, that really gave a man power. He goes, make no mistake, this is a political power grab. It's not the law and it's not good policy, and it's at your expense. So really, really take that in. That's what it is. When it comes to the SEC, Chairman Gensler, and all the people involved with them, it's about political power grab. It's not about law. It's not about good policy, and it's at your expense. And it's quite evident, especially the library community and the XRP and Ripple community. Direct example of at your expense. Investor protection is out the window. That's it. We're irrelevant, and it's quite evident. He hasn't even responded to the 72,000 investors that he so-called set out to protect. He hasn't even responded to the class action lawsuit. They tried to get us thrown out. They tried to get Johnny Deaton in the class action lawsuit thrown out from the case. This is crazy, man. I'm actually extremely excited to see, where things end up and how things end up in the case, and with, within the space in general, with Chairman Gensler at the SEC. What are they going to do with the SEC once this is said and done and the corruption is fully out there on all mainstream media and everyone's exposed? If everyone's going to be exposed, are we going to get those documents, those Bill Hinman email drafts? Are we going to get all that information, or is it just going to be suppressed and redacted and it's never going to see the light of day? Crazy. I'm anxiously waiting and anticipating kind of, what lies ahead. And I have high conviction that there's going to be a lot of positivity when it comes to us XRP investors in general in the crypto space. I'm going to end on this one with Chairman Gensler stuff. It says from Watcher Group, it says Gensler supports CFTC oversight on Bitcoin. So it says, just in, SEC Chair Gary Gensler says he supports giving CFTC greater power to, quote, oversee and regulate Bitcoin and crypto. We'll see. Just like Congressman Tom Emmer says, what did he say? A new day's coming. We'll see what's up. This is from Cointelegraph. Says law enforcement recovers $30 million from the Ronin Bridge hack with the help of chain analysis. So remember, we covered this a bunch of videos ago with that massive Ronin hack, and it's good to see that they're recovering, more of the funds. It says chain analysis crypto incident response team helped law enforcement trace stolen funds to cash out points and for their subsequent freeze. That's huge. That's a positive. Going to end on this one right here. It says from Cointelegraph, crypto investors backed by Coinbase sue U.S. Department of Treasury after Tornado Cash sanction. Coinbase says the Treasury overstepped its authority in issuing the Tornado Cash sanction. So remember, we talked about they're kind of, painting everything with a broad brush, saying, Tornado Cash is used for, nefarious things and bad actors and drug lords and criminal activity. But it's like there's a crap ton of people that just everyday investors that utilize it to protect their own stuff, to protect themselves and to have that privacy. And there's a couple quotes down there that are quite interesting. It says Tornado Cash allows plaintiffs to engage in important socially valuable speech. However, due to the designation, plaintiffs cannot use Tornado Cash to make donations to support important or potentially controversial political and social causes. One person used Tornado Cash to donate money to Ukraine anonymously. So obviously the Ukraine and Russian war that was taking place, that's a huge reason why someone would want to use it. It says afterwards, his wallet received potentially malicious airdrops, but because he anonymized his crypto before donating, he avoided attacks against his personal accounts. His funds, he has funds trapped in Tornado Cash. So that's a perfect example right there. Just, everyday people that, want to utilize it. Now they can't because they're generalizing, saying, you can't use Tornado Cash because, it's criminal. It's for criminal activity when it's not. So curious to see what's going to turn up with this. But before we go here, let me refresh this. CoinGecko, we're currently sitting at a, let me see here, $1.03 trillion market cap, currently up 2.3%. Bitcoin sitting at 19,366. Ethereum sitting at 1648. XRP sitting at 34 cents. XRP is kind of moving up. That's just nice. Saw it as low as the low 32s. And we come over here to the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. We're at 20. We were just at a 24 yesterday. So obviously there's a lot of fear and uncertainty still in the markets. And it's been quite evident based on what's been going on around the industry. But that's the update I have for you. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate your support. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.